My student told me she was carrying my husband's child. I was in shock because my husband had been dead for 7 years. My student Renee Blue comes from a poor family and her mother suffers from uremia. Out of sympathy, I lent her some money. She promised to pay me back after graduation. However, on graduation day, she handed me an ultrasound and told me, your money comes from your husband anyway, right? I'm pregnant with your husband's baby, so I won't be paying you back. Also, you should step aside. I was in shock because my husband had been dead for 7 years. On graduation day, I went to congratulate my students as their lecturer. I also planned to ask Renee for the $20,000 I had lent her for school and medical expenses. But when I saw her, before I even said anything, she gave me a look of contempt and said, Candace, go get your car and take me home. I was a bit stunned. What did you say? Renee scoffed, pulled out an ultrasound report and handed it to me. Confused, I took the document. It said early pregnancy, about 10 weeks along. I was speechless. What were these college students thinking? They think they could treat their lecturer like a chauffeur just because they were pregnant? Why was she acting so entitled? Renee Blue, your pregnancy has nothing to do with me. Why should I take you home? Her bestie Fiona immediately chimed in. How can you say that, miss? Jonah, Renee has difficulty moving around because she's pregnant. If it weren't because your car is nice, comfortable, and safe, we wouldn't even want to ask you. What kind of nonsense is that? What does it matter how nice my car is? Who are you to demand anything from me? I was beyond words and wanted to leave, but Renee blocked my way, arms crossed. Candace, not only are you driving me home today, you're gonna drive me home every day from now on. You're also going to prepare all my meals and take good care of me and my baby. You'll do everything I say. If I feel the slightest bit of discomfort, you'll pay for it. I took a deep breath to calm myself down, then touched her forehead to make sure she didn't have a fever. I couldn't help but remark, if your brain is fried, you should go see a doctor. You're just pregnant, not giving birth to a goddess. Why should I serve you? Your comfort or discomfort has nothing to do with me. You're insane. Fiona and Renee exchanged glances, both looking smug. Fiona stepped forward and confidently patted Renee's belly while looking at me arrogantly. Don't you know, Miss Jonah? Renee is carrying your husband's baby. Your husband is the president of Lennis Corporation, so this baby will become the heir of Lennis Corporation. I was stunned and didn't know how to respond. After all, my husband Igor Lennis had been dead for 7 years. My reaction made Renee and Fiona feel even more smug. What's the matter, Candace? Are you scared now? If you're scared, apologize and admit your mistake. Take good care of me until I give birth, and maybe, out of the kindness of my heart, I'll let your husband leave you a few $1,000s when he divorces you. Fiona, trying to please Renee, became even more sharp-tongued. Miss Jonah, if you ask me, you should be thanking Renee. I heard you and your husband have been married for 7 years, but you still can't get pregnant. Could it be that you're a hen that can't lay eggs? What a shame that is for your husband's family. Renee is actually helping you out by getting pregnant with your husband's child. I rolled my eyes. My husband had been dead for 7 years. Of course I couldn't get pregnant. My husband? That's enough, Candace. Your husband already told me that he's grown tired of you. Just looking at your almost 30-year-old face is enough to make him sick. Unlike mine, with skin full of youthful glow. Before I could speak, Renee interrupted me triumphantly. She even touched her own face, full of vanity. You must be mistaken. Oh right, Candace. As for the money I owe you, forget about it. We all know it's your husband's money anyway. I'm pregnant with your husband's baby, so I'm not gonna return the money anymore. Also, you should step aside. Renee didn't give me a chance to speak. She kept talking over me. Fiona also chimed in like a good lapdog. Miss Jonah, you're driving a luxury car, wearing designer clothes, and enjoying all of Mr. Lennis's financial resources, but you can't give him an heir. If I were you, I'd be so ashamed of myself. Fortunately, Renee is kind and fertile, and she's about to give your husband a legitimate child. You should do the smart thing. Take out your luxury clothes and bags for Renee to choose from to make her happy. If she's happy, you'll suffer less. Listening to their ridiculous demands made me speechless. Before Renee could say anything more outrageous, I quickly spoke. That's enough, you two. My husband has been dead for 7 years, so how can he get you pregnant? Through a dream? Before you try to scam someone, you should do a background check first. You're smearing a dead person's name. I thought Renee and Fiona would shut up after I told them the truth, but Renee simply snorted and looked at me mockingly. Candace, how shameless can you be? You're saying Igor is dead just to provoke me. He's your husband, you vicious woman. I'll definitely tell Igor about this the next time I see him. He'll dump you immediately. Fiona immediately comforted Renee. There's no need to get mad. She's not worth it. She's probably just saying that to make you mad so that it'll affect your pregnancy. You're evil, Miss Jonah. Hearing that, Renee immediately feigned understanding. Her gaze became filled with hostility. So that's your plan. Candace, just so you know, the baby is a boy. Igor already took me to check the gender. Igor said that as soon as the baby's born, he'll have a life of wealth and comfort, so don't even think about laying a finger on my son. In extreme exasperation, I found myself laughing. I looked right at Renee and said, are you deaf? I said my husband's dead, so there's no way he can get you pregnant. If you've been scammed, go to the police. Don't come to me and act crazy. Nonsense. Renee couldn't hold back her anger anymore after hearing that. She took out her phone and held up a photo for me to see. Look, this is the president's office of Lennis Corporation. Who else can enter this office besides your husband? Who else can control the entire Lennis Corporation? If you dare say Igor is dead again, I'll call Igor right now and tell him to divorce you immediately. I checked out the photo. It really was the president's office of Lennis Corporation. But who else could enter the office besides me? The company's cleaning lady? My assistant? The more I thought about it, the more confused I became. I waved my hand dismissively. Okay, call him right now. Tell him to divorce me right now. Let's see what you can do. Renee angrily took out her phone and called several times, but no one answered. She cleared her throat awkwardly and said, Igor must be in a meeting. I'll tell him when he calls me back after the meeting. I took a deep breath and looked at Renee. As your lecturer, out of responsibility for you, I'll tell you again. My husband is dead. If the person who got you pregnant told you he was my husband, then you've probably been scammed. Also, I don't know how you got that photo, but Lennis Corporation has been under my leadership in recent years. Pfft, Candace, you're so shameless. You can't be trying to say that Lennis Corporation got to where it is today because of your leadership, right? Before I could finish speaking, Renee interrupted me again, laughing hysterically with Fiona. I shrugged. What's so funny? Lennis Corporation was indeed under my management. 7 years ago, my husband Igor had a terminal illness. He did not want to marry me at first because of that, but he also wanted to leave the entire Lennis Corporation to me. So in the end, we registered our marriage. That way I could inherit all his assets smoothly as his widow. After his death, I felt depressed for several years and could not move on. The psychiatrist suggested that I temporarily leave my usual environment, so I came to the college to be a lecturer. Candace, you're sounding more and more ridiculous. You're just an unremarkable college lecturer. How can you lead an entire entire corporation. Don't make me laugh. Ha ha, it's so funny. You can really get away with saying anything these days. Do you understand what the president of a big corporation is? Renee and Fiona continued to mock me. Then Renee stepped forward and snatched the car keys from my hand. All right, stop embarrassing yourself. Since you won't drive me home, I'll take your car. And that Hermes you carried to work yesterday? Remember to bring it to me tomorrow. I really like it. With that, they arrogantly turned around and walked to my car. I chuckled. Instead of fighting them to get the keys back, I called 911 and reported that my car had been stolen. I did not go home that night and instead stayed in the teacher's apartment provided by the college. After all, I hadn't figured out who this husband of mine who got Renee pregnant was, and I was very curious. At 11 p.m. that night, I received a call from the police. They informed me that my car had been found, and the car thieves were at the police station. I arrived at the police station and heard Fiona crying before I even went inside. Renee, didn't you say Mr. Lennis really likes you? Then why hasn't he come to pick you up yet? The police said that we stole Candace Jonah's car. If the charge is confirmed, my life is over. I only got into trouble because I was helping you. You have to get me out of this mess. Renee was also feeling anxious, so she snapped back irritably. Shut up. Igor must be busy. That's why he's not answering my call. Otherwise, there's no way he would leave me at a place like this. I'm carrying his son, so I think he's just playing you. Fiona's mood became irritable because she was detained. Their friendship had always been superficial, and now her tone towards Renee grew unkind. She rolled her eyes and wanted to continue complaining, but when she turned around and saw me, she immediately became agitated. Candace Jonah, how dare you show your face after doing this to us? Upon hearing that, Renee immediately turned around. She was clearly emotional, yet she still retained her arrogance. I can't believe you called the cops on us. That was not a smart move. I've already contacted your husband, and he'll be here soon. We'll see how he deals with you. I crossed my arms, leaned on the wall, tilted my head, and raised my eyebrows. Really? I haven't seen my husband in years. If you can really get my husband here, I'll actually be grateful. Renee became even more unhappy. She turned around to continue making calls. About an hour later, we finally heard the sound of a car pulling up outside. Renee leaped up in excitement. Igor is here to pick me up. As she said that, she looked outside. The man in the car got down and rushed over to hug Renee. He asked, his tone anxious, "Babe, are you okay? Is our baby okay?" Renee immediately leaned into the man's arms like a delicate flower. "Babe, that old hag made me cry. The baby is sad too. Hurry up and teach that stupid woman a lesson." Hearing that, the man glared at me angrily. "You old